There is a special going-away party tomorrow in Washington where the National Zoo is saying goodbye to its beloved giant panda, Taishan. When he was born in 2005, the zoo had to set up a 24-hour webcam because so many people wanted to see him. Taishan's now 4.5 years old and is going to China. We'll tell you why in just a sec. Don Moore is Animal Care Director at the National Zoo, and he joins us this morning. Good morning. There's your buddy wandering around behind you there. I bet you miss him already.
Yes, we do. Ty's a very special bear, and he's got millions of fans all around the world who watch him on our webcams about 24 hours a day.
And why is this bear being sent to China?
Well, Ty's 4.5, which, you know, in human age, he'd be going to kindergarten, but in bear age, he needs to go to a breeding center. So he's kind of full of himself. These guys will reach sexual maturity around age 5 or 7, but there's not a dominant male in his exhibit with him here. So he's coming in a little early, and he was doing a thing called power walking this year. The Chinese own the pandas that are in the United States, and they want them to go back at age 2, but he's going back this year.
Yeah, Dave Price does a lot of power walking around our studio often. Now, so he gets to go back to China to power walk? I mean, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, he's pretty much going to be power walking with a young lady that he'll meet over in China at the breeding center. Thanks to National Zoo research and Chinese research, we have almost 300 giant pandas in human care now in captivity in China and the United States. So he'll be in a breeding center.
It really is important for him to go back there and do this because, as we mentioned earlier in the show, there are fewer than 2,000 pandas in all of the world.
That's right. The giant panda is still critically endangered. Its habitat is endangered. The Chinese have protected a lot of its habitat in refuges, but we'd like to see at least 300 in the global captive population and still keep managing that wild population so that the panda does better.
That is one cute bear. It's a really cute bear. I'm here to tell you, look at that picture. It's so great. Are you confident he'll be able to do his designated task when he gets to China?
Well, we certainly hope so. Ty lived with his mom and his dad longer than any other baby panda has in captivity, and hopefully he learned something, and he'll learn more in China. Bears are very good breeders when, you know, they have the opportunity.
Again, just like Dave. All right. Look at that. That is such a great picture. I'm afraid we're out of time, Don, but we would love to just look at Ty for the rest of the morning. He is one good-looking bear.
He'll do just fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. Power walking. Don, thanks a bunch. All right, up next.
You're very welcome.
We'll be right back.
The Early Show continues now from the General Motors Building in New York City.
7:47 now, time for this morning's Health Watch, and today, stopping ovarian cancer. A newly published report is not encouraging. It states that the initial symptoms are of little value in detecting this type of cancer, which may explain why only 20% of cases are found early, and why last year there were more than 21,000 new cases of ovarian cancer and more than 14,000 deaths. Our Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here with more on this. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Maggie.
This report published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute says that the initial symptoms don't necessarily lead to detection. Why is that?
Right, because they are so common, so vague, and we in the field of gynecology have been trying to educate not only ourselves and our colleagues, but patients to be on the lookout for these vague symptoms, because in the past we thought they really might be good indicators. It turns out they're not, because things like bloating or stomach swelling, pelvic pain or pressure, change in your eating habits, or a change in your urinary habits can be connected with early symptoms of ovarian cancer, but they're not definitive. They're not 100% reliable.
They could signal other things as well.
Absolutely, and in fact, they often do. So what I think is important for women to know is they need to pay attention to those symptoms, especially if they're new, and discuss them with their doctor. But just because they have them doesn't mean they have ovarian cancer.
I know another problem is that with ovarian cancer, cancer, there's not a screening test like a mammogram for breast cancer.
That's
so
right.
how is it diagnosed usually?
It's really a constellation of things. Obviously, things like your family history, your age, if you have other increased risk factors like never having had a baby, those things are important. Then we combine symptoms with your risk factors and other tests like blood tests and ultrasound. We put all those things together to stratify risk.
Is there anything you can do to reduce your risk?
Actually, what few people know, very important, taking birth control pills, having pregnancies, getting your tubes tied, those are all very protective. And again, we need better and more accurate detection methods in the future. That's the key.
All right, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you
You
so
bet,
much.
Maggie.
We'll be right back. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Truvia Natural Sweetener. Honestly sweet.
Here's where we would normally tell you what else is coming up, but we figured we would just put Panda video back up.
Panda voice.
Because really, you can't get enough of this.
That guy is amazing. And what a future.